Hi everyone, I'm back. So thank you if you hopped over onto Courtney's live stream just now and helped us with their sound issues. We totally figured it out. So just so you know, we've already finished the first part of the Instagram stories for beginners training, which was slide based. It went along with your workbook. Hopefully you're all caught up, and that is on my channel right before this. I will leave the live stream up for replays. And then now we are going to actually look at my screen and I'm going to share it with you. And in case you're wondering, I always wonder when people do this, I am using Reflector. So Reflector actually lets you mirror via Wi-Fi your iPhone screen to your Mac. Now I saw software in there for Windows, but I am a Mac girl, so I'm using an iPhone and I'm mirroring this on my MacBook Pro in case you are wondering. So this is going to be a weird picture in picture because I have to share my whole screen. There's no option to just share the app. All right, so hopefully you can see this this phone, my screen. I'm pretty boring. This is actually a cover for my future cozy mystery, which thanks to Alana came up with this amazing title. Okay, here's what we're going to do. So it looks like you do see this watermark. I think you guys can see that because I just tried this out. So if you follow along in your workbook over here for how do you create a story. So what you're going to do is you're going to go in here, just go into your Instagram app. And up here at the top are all stories. So if we go in, let's check out Camila. And she has 2 stories inside of there. Whoops. She has her cat, who is adorable and actually has his own Instagram. And then she posted a picture. So not a lot of things in there. Let's check out the cat, see what he's doing. So she actually shared a post right here. And then that was kind of it. So over here, if you want to look at your own stories, you'll see you at the top left. You will always be your story. So I can see all of my stories here. And at the bottom, I know it's hard for you to see, I can see that it was seen by 80. This was seen by 51. And so I asked people a question, does it feel like a Monday? So right now I'm holding my finger on the screen to lock it. If I hit down here at the bottom where it said all the people that were watching, these are my analytics. So 12 people voted for yes. Nobody voted for no. And my question was simply, does it feel like a Monday? So really easy yes, no. I'll show you how to make those. This also is just me talking, but again, we're not listening to it. It's simply just giving you a synopsis over here in case you don't want to listen to me. Also, in case you know, I had just an issue this morning, so I was just sharing that with everyone. This is just a picture. This little guy here at the bottom right is just a little GIF that I added. Over here at the top where it says S3 coffee bar, that's how I tag somebody. And over here at the bottom is a hashtag for avocado toast. So my question, I didn't even ask a question. I just made a statement that said happiness is avocado toast. And I asked people to vote love it or meh. So if we look down here, 10 people loved it and 3 people were like meh. Over here, I just posted a picture of pumpkin cheesecake because this picture came up via Cheesecake Factory, and pumpkin is my favorite, as is the Cheesecake Factory. So I didn't even ask a question again, but people voted. Let's go back. 10 for yes and 1 person for no, who probably stays very thin because they're not into pumpkin cheesecake. And over here, this was just asking everybody if they could make it to the sound check. 2 people said yes, 3 said they couldn't make it. And also I tag, so when you tag other people, if I click over here where it says Cortagonist, it gives me that little pop out. And then if I want to look at her profile, all I have to do is click it again. And now I'm on Courtney's Instagram profile. And if we click her face at the top, we can see her. And obviously she reposted one of my stories. Now to repost these stories that I made, the only way she was able to repost it is because I tagged her here at the bottom where it says @Cortagonist. If I had not tagged her, she would not be able to repost this story. So really important when you tag people and you want them to repost, don't just tag them on the first, part of your story. I tagged her on the first, the second, And the third part, so then she could repost the whole thing onto her Instagram stories over here. And obviously this person tagged her where it says, I am Tashan, so that she could repost this. Another way is if people don't tag you, you could simply, excuse me, you could simply take a screenshot and then just post it as a picture. So again, I'm doing a lot of talking. So I put tags in here, or not tags, I'm sorry. I put text in here to sort of caption what I'm saying. Again, added a hashtag. So this is advertising the Instagram. This is advertising the sound check with Courtney that she reposted. And then this was just a graphic. So that's what I meant by kind of mix it up as you go. Now, I didn't do any boomerangs in there, but let's go ahead. Now, the way to, and for, I know you can't see me. Oh, yeah, you can. You can see me down here. So this is the screen that we're looking at. So if I want to view a story, if I want to create a story, so you know how to view stories, you just simply tap on somebody, and then to advance, you click on the right, and to go backwards, you click on the left. Now, if I want to create my own story, inside on an iPhone, I believe it's different. On Android, I believe you just get a little button at the top that says add to story. But on an Android, what you'll do is you'll swipe from left to right over here. And just so you know, you have to be on the news feed. So if I'm in my own Instagram profile and I try to swipe left to right, nothing is going to happen. You have to be over here on the home button on your own feed. And then from here, you could post something. So obviously, this is me looking at the camera. If I wanted to take a picture of something else, all I have to do is hit the button. I keep showing you, I forget you can see the screen. At the bottom right with the double arrows in the circle, and that will just switch the camera, just like you would any other time. Over here, okay, so let's just post. So let's say I want to post a picture that I already have on my phone. Like I told you, you don't need Planoly or later, you can just do it yourself. So what I'm gonna do over here at the bottom left, you'll see a little box. Those are all of the pictures and all of my Instagram stories. It's saved all of those. So let's go ahead and let's say we want to just repost this quote again. So it's going to show you right here, September 2nd, 2019, because that's when I originally posted it. So Instagram recognizes that this is already something. All I have to do is put my finger on it. I can see that. And then I can drag it around and I can just drag it down here to the trash can. So I can get rid of that. You don't need to show that. It's really more just a message for you. You could leave that up there, obviously, if you want to. So I'm going to tap on the top right. I don't know if you guys can see this. And I'm just going to write some words. So where it says AA, like capital A, lowercase a, that's just your type tool. So it's going to bring up the keyboard and I can say reposting or reporting, reposting. Now, over here at the top, it says strong. I can change this to classic. I can change this to modern. I can change it to neon. I can change it to typewriter, and that's it. Aren't any other choices inside of Instagram stories. So that's why people use some of those other apps that I was mentioning. So they could use different fonts. They could do something creative with the text. To me, that takes up so much time that I don't have, and it would stop me from posting to Instagram stories. Even though it is pretty, I actually choose not to do that. Now, an exception on when you might do that is, let's say you're doing a promotion and it's just a picture and you have a lot of these images going up to promote your buy my book or join my program. That would be a good time to go ahead and add some graphics or animation to your picture or to your post or your story or whatever it is. Now these, you can just take your fingers, I don't know if you can see this, and I can resize it to make it small, or I can make it big. I can twist it. I can turn it around. So you're just moving these with your fingers. So I'm going to just go ahead and leave it, let's say over here, whatever I want to do. I can also change the color of it. So if I tap it over here at the bottom, I get some color choices. So I could choose purple, pink, orange, yellow. And if I swipe over to the right, just swiping those little circles at the bottom, I am going to be able to choose green, brown. some other colors, and then over here you have some grays. Now, if you don't like these colors, so let's say this purple, I want a lighter purple, but it doesn't seem like it's available. You can just put your finger on the purple, hold it down, and you'll get this little drop. And you can go up here and select a light purple like that. Or I can say I want pink, hold it here, and then select another light pink. And now it's changed the color. The other thing too is like, let's say I want to put this, let's move this up here. And because the background is white, it's really hard to read. So what I can do instead is I can just click that. And over here, you'll see a little A with some stars next to it. And what it will do is it will inverse the colors. So you can just tap that once. And now the pink is the background and the white is the text. So another option, and that only works with, hold on, it works with strong, it works with classic, it does not work with modern, you don't see that option. It does not work with neon, and it does work with typewriter. So not every font choice, I guess, has that background color option. All right, the next thing you could do is this little pencil. I don't know if you saw that, right to the left of that. So we're gonna go right to left. The pencil, same thing. You can pick a color down here. You can change it, and then you can just draw on here however you want. If you don't like that, you can also undo it. So you can undo it here. There's some different options up here, and then there's an eraser. So different things inside of this little drawing sort of part. Over here, the little smiley square face, not the smiley circle face, this is going to bring up all of those other options we were talking about. So let's say, so these are kind of like, I think they just call these stickers. So we could just stick a big purple heart sticker over here if that's something you wanted to do. If you don't like anything you put up here, you can just drag it to the trash. Even reposting, I can just drag it to the trash. My phone, because I have the haptic feedback turned on, when I drag something, I feel a little tap, just like you do when you're using the keyboard. So let's go back to the screen. So we'll just go through, pretty much I just use the first 4 rows and that's it. Location. So we'll talk about location and geotagging right after this. But these are, it's making a best guess on all of the locations nearby me. Now, the big worry was, and I'll show you, if you go instead over to your settings on your iPhone and a couple different places, if you go to privacy and location services, you can turn that on or off. You can also turn that on or off for different applications. So Instagram, I have it on while I'm using it. In the past, I believe in 2017 or 2016, it's been a while, it's been at least 2 years. What Instagram used to do is it used to geotag you wherever you took your photo or your story. So if someone clicked it and they knew how to look up the geotags for location, which honestly wasn't that hard, they could figure out that you live at 123 Smallville Lane in Kansas City, Kansas, or whatever. And so they could know exactly where you are at and where you live. So that was kind of an issue. So they actually turned that off in 2017. The only exception to that is if you've been using Instagram stories since before 2017, you do manually have to remove all of those geotags for those past photos and stories. But most likely, if you've been on Instagram for over 2 years now, you probably already know how to do that. So I'm not going to go into that. So this is just for new people if you're worried about your privacy. But again, it doesn't geotag the exact address. It only geotags basically what you can find on Google Maps. So I just leave mine on. I don't think it's a big deal. All right, so that's another good thing too. If you are inside of Instagram stories and I just do a swipe up, or I guess if you have the older ones and you hit the home button and you leave and you come back to Instagram stories later, your story, whatever you were working on, is still there. So this is our story that we were working on. So let's go through these again. So location, I could say that I'm at, I don't even know, the Mission Valley Pet Clinic. And I could just post that there. And then when someone tags that, well, when I tag it, it changes the colors to a few different options. But when someone else tags it, it will show them the exact address in case they were trying to find that on Google Maps. Sometimes if you're at restaurants, you can be like, this is a really great, say, what's my favorite? Olive Garden. I might be alone in this, that I love Olive Garden, but I could be like, I'm at Olive Garden, but this location here in Point Loma is the best. I will tag it below for you. And then that way you can find the location. These are the mentions where the ats. So you can see like the last 3 people I tagged, well, usually your most recent ones will show up. I have tagged Courtney, I have tagged the Cheesecake Factory, and this morning I had a rainbow latte at S3 Coffee Bar. So those are all in there, but I can also just, let's say I just want to tag Camila. So we'll just tag her because she won't care. And we'll just post this over here. And so when someone clicks on her profile, like you saw before, they'll see her profile and they can go see her. Also, if she wants, Camila, when she goes in, can repost this story onto her own because you can only repost if you've been tagged in something. I can also add a hashtag. Let's just hashtag Camila Gornia. So that, again, if people are searching by hashtag, they'll see your story in addition to your post. You can create multiple hashtags. So when you go in here, just so you know, this will just think that you want to edit that one hashtag. To create another multiple hashtag, just go to creating actual text and find your pound sign and then try to do something else. So I could tag, let's say, Lisa Latte Books. And I can tag this up here. I can put it wherever I want, or not tag, hashtag it. All right, so we got the first row out. The next is GIFs. So GIFs are, what's going to happen is when you first pull this up, it's going to show a lot of whatever the most popular GIFs are in theory, because it says over here at the top left, trending. And then you can pick stuff. So let's say we want to pick something about a mystery. And so whatever has been described as a mystery will show up, and then you could add it. And you, same thing, you can just use your fingers to make this bigger, smaller, twist it around, turn it this way, turn it that way. So sometimes if you tap them, let's try to find another one, it will turn it from left to right. So who is a good one? Okay, let's try this little parrot guy. So this little parrot guy is facing that way. Sometimes if I tap him, he will now face the other way. So he faces right, I tap again, he faces the other way. Something else. So you can just look for different GIFs to add. Over here, music. So this is pretty much every song that's out there. You can just go ahead and add. So let's say we want to add this song. Can't even hear it. So how it shows up, you could change it where it will put the lyrics up for you. It'll just put them up as one sort of block, or it'll highlight as the song goes to sing it. Most likely, most people just use this right here because they're not too worried about the lyrics. Or you can do this, whatever you want. And you can also change down here where in the song you want it to play. And when you're done, you can just say done. And you can resize this too. And then if you change your mind, just like everything else, you can just drop it in the trash. All right, so this is just the date. That's pretty self-explanatory. Throw that away. The next one is your poll. So this is the polls. Now you can ask a question up here, or you can use that text, the AA, to write your own question on top. Only because when you ask a question over here, it usually shows up as white. And if you have a light background, it will be hard to read. And you can't really, you can resize, let me show you. You can resize all of this together as one, but you can't change the color of the text on that poll question. So sometimes I'll create a new question using this type tool and just position it over on top of here. Now, these will default. This is what I'm talking about, your yes, no. That's your default. You can always change this to, let's say, I'm going to ask people if they're going to work. So I could change this to laptop on the left, and then I could change this, say, to the beach on the right. So that's a common question I was asked. What's your day look like? Laptop or beach, and then I can put this somewhere else. Now, the important thing with this is not to put this underneath a GIF or underneath anything else. Otherwise, it may not be clickable. Not all the time, but sometimes. So I try to put it all by itself. Again, when I said incorrect placement, if you put it right here, when people are going backwards in your story, they're probably going to click the laptop because that's the left. So they might, engage on accident, or maybe like some people sometimes, if I put it over here, so let's move this parrot guy. If I put it over here, people are advancing the story, so they might push the beach even though they don't mean to. And the funny thing is, people will message me and they'll be like, I hit the beach, but I didn't mean to. I meant to hit the laptop. So just be aware that people, if they're going to engage or not engage, they do want to give the correct answer. And then you can also share the results too. So I'll show you that in a minute. Okay, we'll throw this way. So those are your polls. You can ask a question over here. People can type a response inside of there, and see this little sort of rainbow at the top. You can change the color just by tapping on that. So now it's pink. So we'll just drop this away. And then over here is, I use this a lot. This is a countdown. So I will count down to like the premiere of Nancy Drew. You could count down to an event you have. And when you create a countdown, then people can add that countdown themselves so they can get a reminder for that too. Same thing here. You just hit the little color wheel on the top and it'll change the color. A lot of these too will have some pre-selected colors. So this one doesn't have the option where if you hold it down, you can select new colors. You kind of just get whatever their defaults are. All right. So down over here, this is, you could just ask a question, and that's the one where they can do sort of on a sliding scale, like how hungry are you? Meh. Or super starving, right? You don't have to tell them what the scale is. So it should be something pretty self-evident where left is low and right is high. So that's the slider. That gets okay engagement. I really try not to use that a lot just because personally I don't like using the slider. Over here, it says quiz, but this is a poll where you could ask people different choices. Like what we did for our book club is we let people vote on the book for the next month. And so over here is where we ask people to vote on the different books. And you can add, I think, up to 4 choices. I know for sure you can add up to 4 choices. I don't know if you can add more than that. And then over here is a chat function. Now this is new. So you can actually create a group chat and ask people to join into that group chat. I actually haven't used that because mostly the people I want to chat with, I either chat with them on text messaging, or I will chat with them in a Facebook group. Like if it's a big, huge, sort of like our book club, we have a Facebook group. It's just easier to chat there, I think, than on Instagram stories. So that's pretty much it. Obviously, you can put the temperature in and you can post another picture. So these are just stickers down here and emojis that you can go ahead and add in. So that's it. So now when you want to post, when you're ready, you're like done. This is like what I want to do. So I can go down here and I can send it only to close friends. I know it's hard to see there because of the little trial mode opacity thing. But you can say, if I click send to, then I can just select and send it to specific people. Or I can just click share to my story, which most likely most people do. And then it will share just to your Instagram story, or from here, I could have chosen at the bottom left where it says, has your little face. I can just go ahead and hit that and it'll share to my Instagram stories. Plus you'll see the little Facebook icon. It'll save to Facebook because I've connected Instagram and Facebook together into one. So that is pretty much it. Let's see. We went over how to create a story. Where are your privacy settings? How do you tag people in places? How do you reshare a post? So let's say I really like, I don't even know whose post. So this cat is cute. I'm just going to reshare this cat. So all I have to do is hit that little arrow button. So it's the third button underneath the cat. It looks like an arrow to the right. I will hit that. And then I can either share that with an individual person, or I can say add post to your story. And so it'll bring this up. So when it says tap for more, that means you can just add your own text. So adding my own text. And so I can place this up here and I can make it big. Now, when people click on this, I can click once and then they'll see that it's a post and see some of the text. Obviously, if you don't read and write Korean, you're not going to be able to read and write that. Or they can just click the Haru Abi at the bottom, and then that will take them to that person's that exact post that you have here. So what a lot of people like to do is, they'll add the sticker that says tap here or see post. I shouldn't say tap here. The GIF, sorry, that says tap here. So if I tap here, then I can pick, there's a bunch of different tap here's to choose from. Let's say I like this, and I'll just post it right here. And then I can add that to my story. All right, so that's how you reshare an Instagram post. Remember, to share a story, you had to have been tagged in that story in order to reshare it. We talked about how to create polls, questions, yes, no, how do you go live? Okay, so if you want, that's kind of a little out of scope on here, but if you want to go live on Instagram stories, you can just go live right here at the very bottom. I don't know if you guys saw that. I don't know if it'll let me go live. Oops. Oh, sorry. We'll come back to that in a minute. So I am totally wrong about Instagram stories. I clearly haven't gone live in a while. Instagram stories. Oh, I don't think it's set up for this account because it's too new. I think that's the issue. That's why I don't see that option. All right, so I cannot go live on this account, so we'll skip that for right now. So I will add that in the comments for you. All right, how do you add music? So we went over that, and I think that's everything. All right, so the only thing that I didn't show you is how to make a highlight. So over here at the bottom, you can see I have Nancy Drew, and so this is old. So you can see it was shown 5 days ago at the top, and this one was 5 days ago. This highlight was 1 week ago. Now, obviously that is past the 24 hours. So all you have to do to create a new highlight is click the plus over here for new, and then you can just select any of your past stories. Now, let's say I want to just talk about, I don't know, pumpkins. So you see a little blue check mark. I want to talk about avocados. So let's say I just only want to talk about food. And that's it. So I have 3 selected. I will say next, and I can name this as food or good, food. And then that's it. Now, everyone has these pretty little highlight covers. You will have to upload them first and show them as a highlight so that you can add them later as one of your covers. So it has to be one of the stories that you selected to add it. And you can create those in Canva just like you do your other templates. All right, I think that's it. Anyone still here? I know that was really long. Does anyone who's here have any questions? So that was almost 30 minutes. So it was longer than the other training. Let me check YouTube really quick. And if there's no questions, then I will sign off. Yeah, there's only 2 watching on YouTube. Hawkins, hi. Alicia Hernandez, hi. Alicia got here late. I will rewatch it. No problem. Antoinette, still here. No questions this far for me. All right. I hope this was helpful. And again, the free workbook is in the link below. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow. There's a new video going up tomorrow on my channel on the book club unbox. It's an unboxing, but I went through like how to create your own subscription box because I think it's a really good idea. It's a great idea for revenue. It was helpful. Thank you, Antoinette. Awesome. Alicia, okay, bye. All right, have a great night, and I will see you guys tomorrow on YouTube. Or if you want to join Courtney and I for our live stream, we will be live on her channel next Friday the 13th. All right, bye.